On the security cameras, Mike can see most of the building. There are blind spots just outside the office. The camera to the kitchen is broken, and the camera footage is very staticky. Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie start the night on the stage, and Foxy is behind the curtain at Pirate Cove, which is closed and out of order. Foxy's body is noticeably damaged, so perhaps the state of the animatronic is the reason for this closure. Throughout the night, Bonnie and Chica will wander around. Bonnie might walk up to your left door, and Chica may wander toward the right. Foxy is constantly in a state of coming to get you. Looking at the security cameras causes them to emit a light, like the red light on a camera to indicate it's recording, and this light freezes Foxy in place. Freddy also makes his way toward you, but for him the system is a little different. You have to specifically be watching the camera he is on to freeze him in place, almost like he can tell he's being watched. On the first night, the phone rings, and Mike Schmidt hears the following message from Phone Guy.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact, so I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children, and you need to show them a little respect, right? Okay. So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety, the only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with crossbeams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death.
We learn from this call that Phone Guy worked here before us, recorded various messages that we'll hear as the nights go on, and now no longer works for the company. The setup is a little weird because he recorded these messages a week ago and left them for us, and each one is delivered to us as a phone call, but it's a recording. The phone is programmed to ring at midnight each night with a different message, even though all of them were already recorded, which is weird considering what happens later. Phone Guy alludes to the characters singing the same stupid songs for 20 years. This date will eventually become important, but for now it just means the restaurant has been around for a while and has clearly seen better days. He also mentions the bite of 87. One of the animatronics bit someone's head, which is unfortunate. Although we can gather that Phone Guy was employed back in 1987, which further teaches us some history of the building. The most alarming part, of course, is that the Phone Guy says the animatronics won't recognize Mike as human after hours, but will think we're a naked endoskeleton. It's very unclear why this is the case, and what about it being night makes them unable to recognize humans. I'll get back to that. The phone call for Night 2 only includes gameplay information describing how to use the cameras and how Foxy's mechanic works. Night 3 has more story bits, with Phone Guy stating,
Most people don't last this long. I mean, you know, they usually move on to other things by now. I'm not implying that they died. That's not what I meant.
It's unclear if he's actually being serious or not. It might just be there to set the spooky mood. Or maybe a bunch of employees have died, I don't know. I think it's more likely that nobody else has died because this topic never comes up again in the entire series. Some people interpret this as saying that there have been many other night security guards, but that's not how I interpret it. I think that he's just saying that even the daytime shift and the daytime workers have a high turnover rate. It says that he was the last security guard. So again, I just think that the high turnover rate is for the day crew. Night 4 has one of the most important story moments for the entire series. Take a listen.
Hey, wow, day 4. I think you can do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you. When I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm gonna try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
Phone Guy just died. Now stuff is getting real. For the tone of the game, obviously, this is meant to ramp up tension for the final nights of the game. Now it's actually hard. Now the tutorial guy is dead. The wise old master has died, and now you must rise above him. Also, I bet Scott really regrets this, because it really limits the storytelling going forward. So the animatronics killed Phone Guy, and his body has been in the back room since before you started working here. Yeah, there's no way he's still alive. R.I.P. Phone Guy. So these animatronics, these monsters, are the real deal. Sure, in game over screens, they've killed you before if you fell at the game, but that's not technically canon. Obviously, your character Mike survives to the end of the game, but now, in the story, canonically, they have killed. These things are murderers, monsters. Clearly, they are pure evil. Or not, maybe they have a good reason to kill the Phone Guy, I don't know. The Night 5 phone call sounds like this. This audio is broken text from the book Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhansa Yoganda.
Agricultural development is stated by full use of your marvelous mechanism. Would it not be easily possible to employ some of them in quick laboratory equipment to indicate the influence of various microbiome on the plant? You are right. Countless will be made by keeping array. The joy of creating.
The book is somewhat famous and is definitely something Scott may have picked up and read just by going to college or being recommended it by a friend. People like Steve Jobs swear that it's like the greatest book ever. The final line became really popular in the fandom and birthed the phrase, the joy of creation, which became a sort of tagline for the series. It brings to mind a sort of Frankenstein-like character, a mad scientist who derives their pleasure, their happiness from creating things, even if those things are abominations. But this is a misquote. The line is actually the joy of creative service. But that doesn't mean it's not important. Scott's writing and technical interpretation of the games are a sort of twin snake Ouroboros. They feed into each other in a constant loop. So even though that wasn't Scott's intention, it's very possible that the fans interpreting the game this way led to the mad